There you are, you little shit sponge. Hello everyone, I'm Tessellating Hexagons, and unless I'm quite mistaken, that was the Gold Skulltula that was evading- well, it was the Gold Skulltula that was evading me in the last episode. I believe that's the last one in Gerudo Valley now. So, yeah, we're done here now. Thank fuck for that. But there is a reason why I'm here. I wouldn't start the episode here and get that one Gold Skulltula only to cut away and do something completely irrelevant to this area. In fact, the last episode was very spread out with the remaining things that we needed to do, but in this episode, the stuff that we've got left to do, mostly all in the same place, actually. Well, they're near enough to each other that I won't spend 20 minutes wandering around the overworld that I'll end up cutting out, because that's kind of what happened in the last episode. I recorded for 3/4 of an hour and only actually kept about 25 minutes of it, because a lot of it was me just wandering around, and I'm leading Epona through here because we're going to need her in a hot minute, but there's one thing I want to do first, and so I'm just going to abandon her down here. Now, you see that extra bit on the map that wasn't here when we came here the first time, that sort of sideways stereo-looking thing. That wasn't there when we were here the first time, because as you can sort of see over there, that entire part of the map is protected by, move Epona, by a white guard, so there's no way we could have got up there prior to getting the membership card to be a member of the Gerudo tribe. Is tribe the right word? Race? People? Whatever. But we can get up there now, and that is what we'll be doing in this episode. But there's also another thing that I want to get while we're here as well. Because I've got a checklist of things that I still need to do in the game, and we've not got that many episodes left, and there is an optional dungeon that is here. Well, not exactly where I'm looking here, but in this area there is an optional dungeon, and I will be covering that, but not yet. There's a couple of things I want to do first, simply because, I mean, the episode before last, we just finished up a 5 back-to-back episode run of the most recent dungeon. I want to give you lovely people a break from that. So, oh, and there's a Skulltula there as well. That I didn't plan this, I didn't know that was there. I knew we were missing at least one Skulltula here, I didn't realise that was there. I just knew it had to be in this general vicinity. But yeah, so there is an optional dungeon here. I'll be covering that later, because... okay, of course that wouldn't be the last one. Because I want to give you lovely people a break from dungeon things. Now, I know there's a scarecrow up here somewhere. Just a matter of finding it and using it. Don't mind me just bumbling around looking for things. Oh, there we go. I was so worried for a second then that I'd played the song backwards, because just before I started recording, I warped to Lake Hylia just because that was the most convenient way to get to where I was going to start the episode. And I played the song not backwards, but like with left and right mixed up. And I've been so worried about that happening throughout this project, but it's only happened that one time. Just because it's been such a long time that I keep forgetting which one's the higher note of left and right. There we go. We have, anti-penultimate heart piece, I think? There are 3 more after this one anyway. Now, when I found this chest as a child, I thought, oh my god, there's this extra item that we haven't acquired yet, and it's in a special chest, and it's gonna be another weapon. And no, it's a heart piece. Child me was kind of disappointed. But then again, I feel like Child me wasn't very good at... oh, we can climb up here. Child me wasn't very good at getting the Scarecrow's song. And so... oh, was I supposed to be up here to do that? Herped up. Sorry, I haven't rehearsed this at all. So... don't know where any other Gold Skulltulas might be as well, because... oh wait, no, hang on. I know where at least one of them is. I don't know if time passes while we're here. It'd be beneficial to me if it didn't, but the night is young, so... if this were Twilight Princess, you would have let me land on the horse, you fuck. But yes, up here... I completely scrapped the train of thought I was just on. Up here, we couldn't get up here before because it's guarded by a white guard. There's no way we could have sneaked up here before. But this looks like a track of some kind, does it not? Sure enough, it's a horseback-archery range, which has a minigame attached to it, and that's what we're doing next. But first, on one of these targets, there's a Gold Skulltula, and I'm going to... yep, there we go. I would like to get as many of these as I can, but I am still going to have an episode dedicated to just rounding up all of the remaining Skulltulas, because there's still a good 30-odd left in the game. Even with this one, yes, this Skulltula's worth 1 and not 30. I never would have guessed. There we go. Okay, so we've completely cleaned out the western half of Hyrule. We're just... oh! 29 now. Well, I take back what I just said. But there will still be an episode where I go around looking for these... Why did I re-pause? I'm clever. There'll be an episode where I go back and look for other stuff. There'll be one episode for the, finishing up the dungeons, because there's things that I've left behind in dungeons that I need to go back for. And, if necessary, there'll be a separate episode for cleaning out the remaining 29 Skulltulas. But, one thing at a time, and I think I can only do this during the day, so, hold on a minute. Seriously? And we're back. And there's a bonus horse here as well. I think that's for if you don't have a pony. Maybe it's just to demonstrate that you need a horse. I'm not sure. Now, I haven't played this minigame in ages. And first of all, how dare you? But then again, we did steal it. We earned it, but then we had to steal it to keep it. And she has a gender. Yeah, I haven't played this minigame in ages, so if I fail at it, then... Nah. But there are 2 prizes here, and I'm going to try and get them both. And finally, we have a use for all of these poopy rupees. I'll show my first attempt, and I'll show my successful attempt if they're not one and the same. Now, there is a sweet spot here. I fucked it up. Yeah. Also, those are really weirdly distorted pots. Just throwing that out there. I don't expect to be able to get this on my first run, because it's just a matter of working out what fuck, how make go, as they say. And it's not made easy because an opponent's constantly bobbing because, she's a horse. Come on, I need that sweet 100. Sweet 100, that is officially a number. And you do have a finite amount of time as well. Yeah. There we go. You get to there, and no matter how many arrows you have left, your time is up. Now, I feel like you'd have to do better than 1,000, but not set a new record. And then, you'd have to play through the game twice in order to get both rewards anyway. So that's the first reward, a piece of heart. And the second run-through is to get a sillier score, as I recall. Oh yeah, I have to talk to you on a horse, don't I? Why did you not just keep me on the horse? Yeah. Well, at least we're not using our own arrows here. Yes, the second attempt is 1,500, and I got nowhere near close to that on my first run, so I may have to go into concentration mode for this, but I will see you out the other side, because clearly shooting galleries are so obviously my forte. Have you seen this LP? I'll be with you in a moment. Well, that was a hot mess. Pathetic! That was even worse than last time! Oh, so close. That's the difference nailing the pot section can make. Okay, that was kind of crappy. I nearly salvaged it. So close. Again. Yeah. Same shit, different run. Oh, you tease! In my defense, it's not easy aiming with a GameCube controller. It hurts to know when you get to a certain point where it's mathematically impossible for you to make up the number of points you need with the arrows you have left. That is painful, and it keeps happening. I mean, to be fair, I do feel like every single one of the failures is kind of my fault. I'm not going to blame the game for them. Okay, I don't want to jinx it, but I'm feeling kind of good about this. Which means I'm not going to do it. Yes! Okay. Maybe never mind, I got exactly the score you wanted. Please tell me that's enough. Okay, you want me to match that score and not beat it. Thank you. Good grief. I could work out how many attempts it took me. You can tell by my rupee count. Just subtract 1 from that because the first attempt was a heart piece, but... Bloody wow, that barely even seems worth it. I think that took me like 10 minutes. So, I have other things that I need to do, but for the moment that's everything here in Gerudo Fortress, apart from the optional dungeon, but we'll get back to that later. I'll meet you in the next place that has stuff for us to do. Hey, you know that chest we uncovered in the previous episode? I think I'm gonna claim its contents now. What do you got? Rupees? Rupees, just as I thought. And we're here. I know, it's been a while since we've been here, hasn't it? Now, the strangest thing happened on the way here. I played Epona's song to summon Epona so I could get... Yeah, I walked out of Gerudo Valley on foot because it was easier than guiding her down all those weird, awkward ramps. But then I got out to Hyrule Field and summoned Epona, and she just wouldn't come. I played the song twice, and nothing. Anyway, Ingo, you slimy fuck, how are you doing? So he's a bit more humble than he was before, and... Malon, how have you been since I saw you last? You're not still a slave, are you? The other day. Darling, it's been literally months since I helped you. 'Cause, it's June. It's the 10th of June. I helped you back in, February, if that. Dearie me. And how can you tell that Epona remembered me? She's not even here. Oh, wait, you were... Okay. I was literally just talking about it. Okay. So, I'm not sure what the deal with Ingo is. Was he possessed and that's what made him mean? Was he haunted and that made him... Did that scare him straight, as it were? Or... I don't know what the deal with Ingo is. Now, I've mentioned before how in 2010 I went on a German exchange, and as I recall, the father of my exchange partner, his name was Ingo, or I think it was pronounced more like Ingo, or something like that, but now I permanently have that mental connection between the name of the guy who owns this ranch, or temporarily owned this ranch, and the guy who was the father of my German exchange partner. And what was especially funny is, both of the German exchange partners were English teachers, so that kind of defeated the purpose. Anyway, I hate this side thing with a burning pornography. Yeah, it's not easy, but it's free, so there's that. So I'm gonna have to beat this obstacle course in 50 seconds, and we'll get a present for it. I feel like there's more than one part to this, but I could be misremembering because there's getting Epona in the first place, and then there's this, but I don't remember whether there's another side thing after it, or... Because the awkward thing is, Epona doesn't like jumping at angles, which could completely throw you off here. And if she loses speed, or like that, then she fucks up completely. Why did you stop? We're against the clock here. Epona, what the fresh hell are you doing? Don't like that one. Yeah. See, Epona, you failed. Whereas I'm happy to accept responsibility for my failures in the archery thing, this one, I will not accept my failures for, because Epona is quite literally an awkward mare. Like, her controls, I will never get used to controlling Epona, because you have to approach the fences at just the right angle with just the right speed. It is kind of not a fun time. So I'll get back to you once I do my successful attempt, assuming that I fail this one as well, because, I mean... bleh. You're not giving me enough time to recharge my carrots. Literally, I mean, it sounds like a euphemism, but I mean it quite literally. Yes, recharge those carrots, please, because we're going to need them, otherwise we will fail. I mean, look at this. It didn't even take us half the time to get through the first... It's all well and good telling me one more lap, but it took more than half the time you've given us to complete that first lap. I don't really see how you expect us to do this in 50 seconds if it takes so long just to do one lap. You did it again, you... bleh! Cutting. Why did you stop? What the fuck was that? You see, this is my complaint with Epona's controls. Don't patronize me. I think the problem is, there's a section halfway around where you have to clear several jumps with a single carrot's worth of speed, and opponent doesn't always commit to that. But if you use up a single carrot for every jump, then you won't have enough to get through the next bit. Like, you will have 0 carrots, and that means that you can't make the jump, which means you automatically fail, which is really shitty. Which reminds me, have I ever told you the story of Little Shitty Shumpkin? I don't think I have, because this is a fairly recent thing, but I'll save it for another time, because this is too stressful for these shenanigans. And also that text box prevents you from speeding up, which means it's very easy to miss that first gate on your second pass. Good grief indeed. Oh, just barely made it on the lap where I was talking about Little Shitty Shumpkin who shat upon a pumpkin. Twiddle-diddle-diddle-dum-dee-hee-ho. So, please tell me that's the only part of this. Yes, the present is rather unexpected, so she delivers it to our house. So yes, that's not one of the heart pieces we're missing. And I believe that's it, because there's nothing else you can give me. I don't want to do the obstacle course, because that's the same thing. Okay, I was right, that is all we needed to do. So how about I meet you back in Gerudo Forest, and I can show you exactly what our prize is, because chances are you won't guess what it is unless you already know. Well, here we are. Last chance to place your bets on what our mystical, magical prize for completing the horse nonsense is. Because, as I said, it can't be a heart piece, because there are only 2 left and they're both in the same place, as I recall. It can't be an upgrade, because we've got all of them apart from 2, but again, I know where those are. It can't be an item, because there's only 1 item left to get in the game that we can equip, and that's not this. So what could possibly be so heavy that they couldn't give it to us in person? Austin, we meet again! Yes, they've hand-delivered my water sage to my house. In all seriousness, your prize is a cow. You get your own cow for free, so instead of having to wander around Hyrule looking for a random cow, you have one of your own. And why would you do that? Well, if you play Epona's song to a cow, and you have an empty bottle, then they'll give you a free bottle of milk. And so your prize is essentially infinite milk. While we're here as well, there's also this stat board that I've never bothered looking at any point in the project. So, apparently we've squished 71 spiders. We've not caught any fish. Marathon, that's not a thing we're bothering with. Horse race and horseback archery, those are the things we did in this episode. I've been recording for 35 minutes. That should give you a sense of scale for how much failure I've had to cut out. So, if this episode runs a little short, that's because I should just get good at life. So, I have been and will continue to be Tessellating Hexagons. In the next episode, we will do, actually, some more horse nonsense, but we're running out of stuff to do before heading to the end game, so don't worry, things are gonna pick up in their interestingness from next episode onwards. No. In a couple of episodes' time, at the very least. We'll get back to the story eventually. We're nearly done with the side stuff. Have been, will continue to be. See you next time. Have a nice life.